Good evening and welcome. I am so excited to be here tonight. My name is Barbara Gaskin, and I'm the president of the Philanthropy Connection. We have a very special program for you tonight. Tonight is our 7th annual awards and all-member meeting. And tonight, together with all of the $500 and $1,000 donations of our members, our donations will become $250,000 in grants to 10 amazing organizations that you will meet later tonight. As of tonight, our organization has cumulatively given over the past 7 years over $1.6 million. So I have to admit, I struggled with what to say tonight. As our name suggests, the Philanthropy Connection is all about making connections. And on a typical awards meeting, we would be filled with happy celebration where new connections are made between and among our members, our grantees, our guests, and our sponsors. In fact, many creative ideas have emerged in the past from this very evening. And I remember an event where 2 grantees met for the first time and found ways to collaborate. Instead, unfortunately, tonight we find ourselves meeting virtually in a very impersonal way. This COVID-19 pandemic has been horrific for so many in our community. And it doesn't feel quite right to say we're here to celebrate. All of our grantees, new and old, need our support more than ever for the crucial work that they are doing. So I ask you to commit tonight to making an even greater effort to make new connections so that together we can make a difference. And I do think it is important that we take the time to celebrate with a small c tonight our successes over the past year. And for TPC, there are many, and I can't wait to share them with you this evening. But first, I would like to acknowledge a number of people in our organization and our sponsors. The Philanthropy Connection is now a mature organization, and I would like to thank the 2 women who preceded me as president. First, thank you to Marla Felcher, our co-founder, who had the vision to take an existing women's giving model and make it even better, particularly through the creation of our Young Philanthropist Initiative. And to Susan Benford, who served as president for the past 3.5 years, during which time TPC built strong committees, a solid infrastructure, all while building our membership. Today, we are over 280 members, and 27% of our members are under 35. I am also thrilled to be working with our current board of directors. What an incredibly talented group of women who lead and serve on our committees and who know how to get things done. And to all of you members out there, thank you for your continued support and dedication, your volunteering and donations to our grantees, your participation, and for mentoring our fellow members. Special thanks to our administrator, Allison Yoder, who keeps us all on track. We could not do this without you. And thank you to a relatively new member, Nicole O'Connor, co-founder of 7 Pair Studios, a professional film and photography company who helped us with our program tonight. So as many of you know, our membership does not cover 100% of our operating budget, and we could not do our programming without the support of our corporate sponsors. Thank you to Cambridge Trust, who has supported us from the very, very beginning. And we are grateful that you continue to sponsor our Connect the Dots membership events. To Hemingway and Barnes, thank you for sponsoring our Young Philanthropist Initiative. And to Brown Brothers Harriman Center for Women and Wealth, thank you for sponsoring our philanthropy dialogues and educational events. So now I'd like to share with you some exciting new announcements. First, we are incredibly excited to announce that we are receiving a Cummings grant from the Cummings Foundation. This could not have come at a better time. as in the midst of this pandemic, we have had to quickly and completely transition our operating model to become a 100% virtual organization. This grant will allow us, among other things, to solidify our operations budget, cover increasing administrative and technology costs, invest in marketing and PR so that we can connect with even more people in our immediate area, and further develop and deepen our educational initiatives and make them more broadly available. It will also allow us to strengthen our membership programs, particularly our Young Philanthropist Initiative. So thank you to the TPC women, led by Susan Benford, that put this application together. And we are so looking forward to working with the Cummings Foundation. Next, I'd like to tell you about our diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives. In a few minutes, you will hear more from our DEI task force, led by Jennifer Angarita and Taurine Green. But I want to highlight this extremely important work. We believe that bringing a DEI lens to everything we do is critical to our success. And we intend to incorporate this in all aspects of our work, including membership, grant making, and educational events. If you've not already, please check out the articles and resources we've been sharing through the new DEI Spotlight in our newsletter, and look for additional educational events coming throughout the year. Next, remote programming. We have found that often our educational events have filled to capacity and had waiting lists. In addition, we've heard potential members and existing members express the desire to join or participate, but traffic and commuting in the early evening was a major deterrent. Well, one small benefit of this pandemic is that we have now mastered video conferencing, and we are looking into incorporating it into all of our events so people can participate from anywhere. In fact, you will hear later in the evening from Sandy Lawrence about a new virtual summer dialogue series, the first of which will be held on June 9th, so save the date. Next, we will be updating our strategic plan. And to our members that completed our strategy survey, thank you, and we heard you. We have already begun incorporating DEI into everything we do, and we're determined to fund multi-year grants in the future. Soon we will be engaging in strategic brainstorming sessions with more exciting new initiatives to come. So while these are challenging times, they are also exciting times for TPC. I hope all of you will join us so that connected, together, we can do even more next year. Now you will hear from Cassandra Trujillo, who leads our Young Philanthropist Initiative. And then following her will be Jennifer Angarita, co-chair of our DEI task force. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Trujillo, and I head TPC's Young Philanthropist Initiative. In my experience, young people, and especially young women, get told a lot of what they can't do. But TPC, from its inception, has recognized and valued what all women, including young women, can do. 4 years ago, when I first heard about TPC, I was working in direct service at a nonprofit and thinking about where I wanted to take my career, and had decided that I wanted to gain some exposure to more general business skills. And so I asked at work if I could take on some additional projects, and was told that I couldn't because I hadn't already done the things that I was asking to do, and so they weren't sure if I could do them. Around that time, I joined TPC, not with the goal of learning business skills. I was really looking for something with a social mission and looking for a way to grow my community. And I've immensely enjoyed both of those aspects of TPC, but also from day one, TPC has been a place where I've seen what happens when you don't listen to the people telling you that you can't do the things you think you can do. So that's been everything from getting to sit at the table across from executive directors of nonprofits and hearing how, with limited resources, they are tackling really challenging problems and having a meaningful impact on communities that other people might not be supporting, to getting to be the finance lead for my grant review team my first year of TPC and getting the training and getting a point person to help me out, but ultimately getting to take on that responsibility and gain that experience, to, for the past 2 years, getting to sit on TPC's board and participate in nonprofit governance firsthand. And I think those are just some small ways that women can get involved in TPC. But one thing that's been continuous over my time here has been TPC's investment in young women. So in addition to having proportionate representation of young women on the board, TPC also provides reduced price membership options for young members, and some seasoned members, probably some of you watching, also underwrite fellowships and other sponsored memberships so that young women can participate regardless of financial means. My hope is that it's been evident the value that our young membership is bringing to TPC. So young women disproportionately take on roles of leadership within TPC, and really are trying to prove that philanthropy is not just your money, but also the time and the skills that you bring to the causes that you care about. In this current moment, when it's not just young women who are being told not to do things, but everybody is being told that there's a lot of things that we shouldn't do, TPC is still a place where you can do something active to support communities and to support organizations that are best positioned to serve those who are most impacted by the current situation. And throughout it all, TPC is continuing to let young women be a part of those decisions and continue to be able to take action when we most want to take it. If you are a young woman and you are at all curious about TPC, or a current member who is unsure what renewing might mean for you in these times, or if you are anybody who is interested in helping us bring more young women to TPC, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer, and I serve on the board of TPC and as co-chair of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Task Force. Our goal is to bring a diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, lens to every aspect of TPC. TPC's most recent member survey highlighted a deep interest from many members to center these DEI principles. Most recently, today's public health crisis has revealed and exacerbated deep disparities across racial and economic lines, and has underscored the need for bold action to address these disparities. As part of this ongoing effort, we are so excited to unveil TPC's new belief statements that better reflect and articulate our collective values.
We believe that diverse women pooling their time, skills, and dollars can positively impact their communities.
We believe that understanding and dismantling systemic inequities and intentionally including diverse experiences, perspectives, and voices in our community
enables TPC and its grantees to achieve more informed, impactful outcomes.
We believe in creating and sustaining a community that is inclusive, equitable, diverse, and fosters a brave space
to which all people can bring their whole identities and authentic selves.
We believe that building relationships and genuine connections is critical to cultivating the next generation of diverse women philanthropists.
If you'd like to get in touch, please reach out to diversity@thephilanthropyconnection.org. For more resources and information, please check out DEI Spotlight in the monthly newsletter and stay tuned for more programming. TPC members know we cannot achieve our mission without conscious and collective work towards diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'm glad to be part of an organization that is committed to these principles and to our own personal and collective growth.
Thank you to Cassandra and Jennifer. Every year, as Cassandra mentioned, TPC offers fellowships to young women to allow them to participate and learn about philanthropy. And I'd like to officially welcome our first-year fellows, Samantha Perlman, Lily Chin Martin, Kelsey Medard, Lena Canyon, Becca Kuntala. And thank you and welcome again to our second-year fellows, Tariana Little, Amber Gomez, Stacy Diaz, Olivia Taylor, Sarah Kalish. We really look forward to working with you this year. And so now it's time for the moment that we've all been waiting for, when we will learn our new grantees for the 2020-2021 year. I'd like to introduce Sue Meehan, who is the chair of our grants committee, who will tell you a little bit about our grants process and introduce you to our grantees. Sue.
Hi, everyone. As Barbara mentioned, I'm Sue Meehan. I'm a board member of TPC, and this year I've had the honor of chairing our grants committee. Our grants process began back in October when we recruited TPC members to lead 17 grant teams of 8 to 10 women each. In November, we received over 111 applications, which were divided among the teams for consideration. We provided training for team captains, deputies, and finance leads on how to evaluate applications. Teams then met, and over the next several months decided to move 53 organizations to the full proposal stage. 23 organizations were moved to site visits, and ultimately teams nominated 18 for the ballot for the full vote of our membership. In total, we had 142 women involved in a variety of capacities. Every one of the 18 organizations on our ballot has deemed worthy of our grants, and we wish we could be funding all of them. I know it can be disappointing for teams whose candidates don't receive an award, and I encourage you to consider these organizations for your individual philanthropy if you're able, especially during this current COVID-19 crisis when the needs are so great. Please also help recruit your friends to TPC, as increases in our membership create the ability for us to fund more organizations. I want to thank the women who worked on the grants committee helping to organize this process: Sean McAlpin, Tatiana Joyce, Ruth Ferguson, and Erin Cooper. I'd also like to thank the women who served as grant team captains, deputies, finance leads, eligibility and financial screeners, liaisons, to all those who served on a grant team. And special thanks to our administrator, Allison, as Barbara mentioned, who does a fantastic job keeping the grants process on track too. We'll soon be sending out a membership survey. If you would like to serve in any of these leadership capacities or on a grant team next year, please fill out the survey as soon as you receive it. The liaison positions in particular fill up very quickly. For those of you considering joining TPC or who haven't been on a grant team, I encourage you to give it a try. Team members regularly comment on how much they learn about the incredible work being done by so many deserving nonprofits in the greater Boston area. The teams provide an opportunity to meet women from many different backgrounds, which leads to thoughtful and enriching discussions about philanthropy. Participating on a grant team or volunteering with our grantees can lead to much deeper understanding of the complexities and issues faced across so many communities in our area. I would now like to introduce our 2020-2021 grantees. I'll introduce the first 5 grantees, and then you'll hear from each of them. Then you'll hear from Sandy Lawrence about membership, and then I'll be back to introduce the next 5 grantees. So, what you've all been waiting for, the first 5 grantees are Boston Higher Education Resource Center, Dignity Matters, Fathers Uplift Inc., Green Roots, and the Chelsea Collaborative La Collaborativa.
Good evening. What an amazing honor to be here tonight celebrating the 2nd year in a row of the Philanthropy Connection support of the Boston Higher Education Resource Center. What does it take to alter the trajectory of a high school student's life, propelling them and the generation that follows them to self-sufficiency and greatness? I'm Sam Acevedo, the Executive Director of the Boston Higher Education Resource Center. The Boston HERC equips first-generation students of color to achieve a higher education, break the grip of poverty, and become agents of change in their community. Our Passport to College program connects first-generation students in the classrooms of non-exam BPS high schools with Passport coaches, young professionals who are themselves first generation. The coach is a living window to a world that is tantalizingly close to her students, but that they would otherwise believe is unachievable. Of course, amid a global pandemic, Passport coaches cannot meet with their Passport students in BPS classrooms for so long as our school partners remain closed. But our priority is to remain connected to our BPS first generation Passport students in this season of BPS school closures. Coaches continue to meet with their Passport students via Zoom, via text platforms, via phone calls and emails and social media. The crisis has also served as a catalyst to provide, so far earlier than we had envisioned, additional remote support services to BPS Passport alumni, many of whom find themselves adrift at this time, some with their semesters canceled, or others learning online, or still others without a place to live or go home to. These are coaches like Neisha Gonzalez and students like Javier Suarez. From the moment Neisha connected with Javier in a classroom of BPS's Margarita Muñiz Academy, she became instrumental to convincing him that he, even if no one else in his family had gone to college before, he could go, should go, and would succeed there. But the relationship did not end when Javier became the first in his family to go to college. On the campus of this alien world, Javier felt bewildered and lost. And throughout the years of his college journey, Javier continued to reach out to Neisha, who banished his doubts and connected him to resources on campus and even to a set of Passport alumni on campus. She even helped Javier transfer to a college that was a better fit for him. He graduates this May from Regis College with honors, having served as president of Regis's Latino American Student Organization. The Philanthropy Connection's generous support helps the Boston Heart duplicate our efforts to support hundreds more Javiers. Thanks to TPC, this summer, Coach Neisha Gonzalez becomes Neisha Gonzalez, co-director of our new Alumni Success Program, leading the charge to ensure that more Javiers go off to college, graduate from college, and go on to do great things. We believe their destination is greatness, and together with TPC, we will not rest until they achieve it.
Hello, my name is Kate Sanetra Butler, and I'm the founder and executive director of Dignity Matters. For those of you who are not familiar with our organization, Dignity Matters is a nonprofit that purchases, collects, and supplies free feminine hygiene products, bras and underwear to women and girls in Massachusetts who are either homeless or experience poverty, financial hardship, domestic violence situation. We started 4 years ago, and from very humble beginnings in Wayland, in my basement, we grew to be the biggest organization fighting period poverty in New England, and certainly here in Massachusetts. We do that with support of our communities and foundations and circles just like you. So thank you very, very much for your support to our mission and our work. We wouldn't be able to continue, and we wouldn't certainly be able to extend our programming to more women without support of Philanthropy Connection. So for those of you who are not familiar with our day-to-day work, I just wanted to briefly let you know that on average we support 4,000 women every month with free menstrual care, bras, and underwear. We support women through our partnership with shelters, public schools, domestic violence centers, food pantries, and our other organizations that support clients in need. Certainly, recently during the COVID pandemic, we've seen sharp increase in demand for all type of necessities, menstrual. So over the last 2 months, we were able to really fast scale up, and with relief funding that we have received all over the state, we are supporting now over 8,000 women every month. We distribute product mainly in Boston for Boston Public Schools, emergency centers, also Greater Boston YMCA. So for those two organizations, we are able to reach about 2,500 women every single month, and that's on top of the work that we normally do. My colleague, Maureen Belger, who is our foundation's officer, will tell you a little bit more about the specific grant that we have received from your organization. Again, thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Maureen Belger, the Foundation Officer for Dignity Matters. The grant that we received from the Philanthropy Connection will help Dignity Matters in our mission to eliminate period poverty for local women and girls, allowing them to live with basic dignity as well as consistently go to work and attend school. We will use the grant fund from the Philanthropy Connection to pay for critical warehouse space. We need warehouse space in order to store the pallets of pads that we purchase before we sort them and distribute them to our many partners. We will also use some of the grant funds to support our ongoing operations, enabling us to remain the efficient and effective nonprofit that we have been. I would like to take a second and share with you a conversation that I had with a woman at the Women's Lunch Place last fall at our annual bra fitting event. She came up to me during the event to thank me for all the time that people spent with her to help her ensure that she had a bra that fit her properly. She told me that she just felt by having that experience and now having 3 bras and 6 pairs of underwear made her feel like a respectable woman. And many of our partners share that the women they serve are both thankful and relieved to know that each month they will receive menstrual care that will last them for the duration of their period. On behalf of everyone at Dignity Matters, we would like to extend a huge thank you to the membership of the Philanthropy Connection for this grant and for your support and commitment to helping Dignity Matters eliminate local period poverty. Thank you.
Hello, how are you? My name is Charles Clayton Davis Jr., and I am the co-founder of Fathers Uplift Incorporated. Fathers Uplift is the country's first outpatient and mental health substance abuse treatment facility for fathers and their families, where we simply assist fathers with overcoming any barrier that could prevent them from being engaged in their children's lives. We do that through several approaches, but some of our main approaches are clinical therapy, where we're providing hands-on therapy to fathers and their families, from individual therapy to couples therapy to group therapy on a day-to-day basis. And our second program is coaching. And with the coaching, we pair fathers with other fathers who've overcome barriers themselves to stay engaged in their kids' lives. I can tell you for sure that with your support, we will be able to continue serving fathers in a wonderful way with our Fathers Homecoming program, where we meet fathers at the door when they get ready to be released from jail and transport them safely back into the community so they can be one step closer to their children. I also want to let you know that a positive story to keep in mind is that during COVID 2019, we were able to give away $25,000 in cash assistance to fathers who are in need. Just a story for you, one of our fathers who are involved in the Fathers Homecoming program, we actually supported him as he returned back home from jail. He was able to use that $500 of cash assistance to buy his daughter a crib. So when you think about how is the Philanthropy Connection going to be a wonderful part of the work that we're doing, I can tell you for sure that right now, due to COVID-19, many fathers are being sent home with nowhere to go out of the jail. I can tell you that jails in the city of Boston are clearing their spaces because COVID-19 is ravaging their jails. We know that fathers who are returning home need support, they need guidance, and they need love. And we know that the case management services that we provide and the therapeutic services that we provide can be of more support to them during this difficult time in society. I want to tell you that because of your support, we are going to be able to serve more fathers with our Father's Homecoming program. We're going to be able to grow that program more. We're going to be able to support more dads coming from different jails and prisons because of you. And we want to let you know that your support will never be taken for granted. We understand that we have a responsibility, and we also have the important ability to make a difference in fathers' lives right now when it counts the most. Due to COVID-19, many families are suffering, and we know that because of you and your support, your guidance, and your love, we're able to support fathers in a magnificent way. So thank you so much for this opportunity. My wife, Samantha Fields Daniels, the other co-founder, are thrilled to be a part of your network. We're thrilled to be a part of your team, and thank you for selecting us. Have a good day.
Hi, I'm Roseanne Bongiovanni. I'm the Executive Director of Green Roots. We're a resident-led organization working to achieve environmental justice and improved quality of life in Chelsea and East Boston. We engaged and empower the most impacted and vulnerable residents, equip them with skills and knowledge so that together we implement innovative campaigns to achieve tangible benefits to our environment and our public health. Right now is a particularly trying time for us. As you likely know, Chelsea is the epicenter of the COVID-19 infections in the Northeast. Chelsea's infection rate is 6 times Massachusetts' rate. Our residents are literally getting sick and dying in unprecedented numbers. Right now, our entire staff has turned its focus to address our community's needs and to make sure that we're there for our most impacted and vulnerable residents. We're providing them with information, access to services, and vital needs every single day just to make sure that our community can get through this crisis together. Under normal circumstances, we would be celebrating the opening of our community gardens and Chelsea's first urban farm. And funding from the Philanthropy Connection will help us to maximize urban farming in Chelsea. Unfortunately, our farms and gardens to date are still closed, but we're slowly rolling out an opening plan so that folks can get back into this valuable space in the community, not only to reconnect with one another and reconnect with our urban land, but also to address the serious food insecurity issues that Chelsea faces. As you've likely seen on the news, the lines of folks waiting to get to emergency food pantries wraps around city blocks. That should never be the case. Green Roots is working collectively with other community partners to make sure that we are addressing the most serious food insecurity needs in our community and to bring about land sovereignty and food justice for everybody in our community, particularly those who are most impacted and socially isolated. Funding from TPC will be used to maximize our community gardening and farm spaces by engaging young people, creating a team of youth leaders who will take on farming, so that as we continue to grow older and move on, there'll be new generations of urban farming crew available, young people who are here afterwards to continue on in our paths and to share the knowledge among so many community members. Our goal is to make sure that every community member in the community knows exactly how to grow fruits and vegetables, how to use the limited amount of open space that we have in the community, so that we don't find ourselves in this food crisis again. And so I want to thank you again this evening for supporting the really vital work of Green Roots and the really important work and needs for our community in Chelsea. Thank you so much. I can't say just how much this grant means to us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and thank you from everybody in our community.
Hi, my name is Gladys Vega. I'm the Executive Director of the Chelsea Collaborative, La Colaborativa en la Ciudad de Chelsea. I am delighted to tell you about the Chelsea Collaborative. The Chelsea Collaborative began in 1988. I became the receptionist in 1990, and I've been here moving through different positions for almost 31 years. The Chelsea Collaborative is an organization that does community organizing. Most recently, we began to do also direct services, case management, workforce development. We provide jobs to approximately 250 youth during the summer, and year-round we hire approximately 40 youth to do our year-round program. We do workers' rights, tenant rights, we do immigration rights. We have a worker center that provides help to workers in the city of Chelsea, but also undocumented residents. We teach them about their rights. We also do workforce development. during the COVID pandemic, we immediately responded to the needs of the community. We didn't think twice about getting infected and affected by the pandemic. We responded to the call of duty, and immediately we created a food pop-up pantry in order to address the needs of the community for food. But we knew from the beginning that we want to use that excuse for two purposes. The first purpose, giving them the immediate needs. The second purpose was to do a wellness check. How were they doing? What were they going through? Were they being tested? Is their house in order? Is their landlord kicking them out? Are they getting problems with are they in situation of domestic violence? Are the young people getting the assignments from school? Did they get the tablets from the Chelsea School Department? All those things we were asking the families while they were in line looking for food. In addition to that, we bought tablets in order for us to begin to work on the census. We felt that why not, be all protected with gloves and masks, but ask people about responding to the census right on the spot. And that has been very, very successful. I think that the aftermath of the COVID pandemic worries me, because I really think that we immediately, once we finish with this era, we immediately need to move on workforce development, creating paths so people can get a better job. In the city of Chelsea, our immigrant community has to work 3 jobs in order for them to get a decent salary of one job, or one good paying job. So we want to do everything in our power to teach them, train them, provide coaching, help them with resumes, do anything that, help them learn how to use the computer. We have a program that is Tech Goes Home, increase those classes. We have 15 ESL classes during the week, including Sundays. Increase that. We want to make sure that we create a workforce community that is able to sustain themselves and is able to come up with their financial means in order for them to continue living in the city of Chelsea. Our situation is not going to get easy. The city of Chelsea has taken probably 5 to 10 years back, and for many people, they don't have a job to return to. So we want to make sure that we get them in the right track, in the right path, so they can sustain themselves economically. And the only way they're able to do that is through workforce development. A perfect example of that was we have a co-op of females that are sewers. They sew, they do alterations of clothes and stuff. And when the pandemic happened, immediately we put them to do masks, we put them to work. And these 6 ladies made $8,000 the first week of the pandemic. And that's exactly what we will be able to do.
I'm Sandy Lawrence, and I'm the chair of the Member Engagement Committee. My role is to make sure that members stay engaged and have opportunities to become engaged, that members can become educated about the issues that are facing us in the greater Boston area with our marginalized populations, and hopefully encourage you to continue to be or to become new TPC philanthropists. Together and collectively, we can make a huge impact in the greater Boston area. Since our founding just 6 years ago, we have donated over $1.3 million to greater Boston nonprofits. We are considered a large philanthropic organization in the Boston area. And we need TPC members now more than ever. Now, in this time of the COVID pandemic, we need to be bold. Now is the time to go all in. We need you more than ever right now. And think about this, through our collective giving model, your $1,100 donation turns into $25,000 for deserving area nonprofits. That is a huge impact in what they can accomplish against their populations. Another thing that's important is that we do provide significant educational opportunities to our members throughout the year to help you understand trends, to help you understand what is going on, to help you think about where do we want to put our donations? And of course, there's many volunteering opportunities and many ways that we can help by going to our legislature and lobbying for things that are negatively affecting many populations in the Boston area. We've had many successful activities over the last several months, a successful Giving Tuesday Now donation campaign with our grantees. We had several walks for virtual walks for hunger in the month of May, and be sure to sign up for our virtual educational opportunities that are going to start in June. We're very excited about this, and it's a new way in a new time to really stay educated. I also want to share again that a generous group of donors has donated $6,000 match for every member that commits to renewing before June 15th or commits to joining before June 15th. They will match $50 per renewal, up to a total of $6,000. Your only commitment is to go to your computers now, to commit to joining, and to commit to paying by November 1. I leave you with this thought. Now is the time to be bold. Now is the time to be a member, because together and collectively we can make a big difference. Thank you.
Hello again. Our next 5 grantees are Neighbors in Need, Project Citizenship, RIA House Ready Inspire Act, Science Club for Girls, and City Life Vida Urbana.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Smith, and I'm the Deputy Director at Neighbors in Need. We are grateful to be here this evening receiving a grant from the Philanthropy Connection. I'm going to talk to you tonight a little bit more about Neighbors in Need, our response to the COVID crisis, and how we may use some of the Philanthropy Connection funds. Neighbors in Need fights hunger directly at the local level by operating 13 neighborhood food pantries in Greater Lawrence. These food pantries provide healthy bags of groceries to 850 families each week and are strategically located so that all Lawrence residents who live in a low-income census tract are within walking distance to one of our pantries. This is important as Lawrence, the poorest community in the Commonwealth, also the residents, almost 50%, don't have access to a car. We also help families by providing diapers, formula, and other basic necessity to caregivers with infants under the age of 5. We serve 400 families and more than 500 children in this program each month. None of this work would be possible without our robust team of volunteers. We had 900 volunteers who served with us last year that greatly expanded the reach of our very small and mostly part-time staff. Many of you may be aware that Lawrence was particularly hard hit with the COVID virus. Infection rates in Lawrence were about 3,000 infections per 100,000 residents, some of the highest infection rates in Massachusetts. This comes on the heels of the 2018 Columbia gas explosions, which still have left many residents traumatized. Additionally, we know that the stay-at-home order and its related business closings are going to have long-term economic impact, and that many of our clients won't return to work for quite some time. The risk of the COVID infections coupled with the economic impacts and the increased need for food that we found led us to move our model by the end of March to from a traditional food pantry to grab-and-go food bags, delivering to high-risk and COVID-positive clients, and moving our diaper pantry operations to a mobile delivery system. None of this work would have been possible without our loyal volunteers. Volunteers have been serving us by making phone calls, making all of the diaper and food deliveries, and packing bags in our warehouse. Last week, we served 900 families bags of groceries, and in the last month, we've delivered diapers to over 425 families. Going forward, we're going to continue this more delivery-oriented and grab-and-go model, which looks different than how we've served families in the past. But we will be still feeding families, and we'll be helping to alleviate diaper need and serving as many clients as we ever have. We've noticed 3 new challenges. First, that our food supply is a little bit variable, and we hope to use TPC funds to help us look for new food suppliers and to make more frequent trips to the Greater Boston Food Bank. Additionally, we need new systems to communicate better with our clients, and so we're hoping to use some of the TPC funds to purchase technology that allows for group texting or group calling to make this communication easier. And lastly, we worry about our teams of staff and volunteers either becoming sick or exposed to the COVID virus, and so we're building redundant systems so that if one team goes out, others can take their place. And this will require additional hiring of staff as well as additional recruiting of volunteers. But I don't want to forget about our clients, from the man with a tracheotomy who we've been delivering bags of food to the family who goes to get a grab-and-go food bag and also picks one up for their cousins who are COVID positive, to the mom with the 18-day-old baby who called us because when she went to her corner bodega, there was no formula on the shelf. With the TPC funds, we'll be able to continue to help these clients as well as the many, many more who will turn to us in the months to come. And we thank you.
Greetings, Philanthropy Connection. My name is Veronica Serrato, and I am the Executive Director at Project Citizenship. We're so grateful for your continued support. We work to ensure that all immigrants understand and have access to the path to citizenship. Since middle of March, we've been working remotely and have been helping people fill out their citizenship applications by telephone, and we've completed over 100 since that time. We've also been advocating for folks to be sworn in and have their oath of citizenship, which have all been canceled through the end of June. We were fortunate to be able to get 2 clients sworn in Lawrence just this past week because they've been unable to receive any financial support given their immigration status. We want to thank you and all of the women at the Philanthropy Connection for your support. We love working with TPC. We are so happy to have such a wonderful group of engaged, intelligent, and knowledgeable women in our community supporting the important work that we do. Thank you so much, the Philanthropy Connection. We're very grateful for your support.
Hello. I'm Heather. I'm the Executive Director of RIA House Ready and Inspire Act, and I'm joined by a fierce team of women that support and stand with women in the aftermath of being bought and sold for the sexual gratification and power gain of another person. The people we walk with have been exploited, have been prostituted, have been trafficked, and we provide support services such as peer mentoring, clinical therapy, case management, advocacy groups. We walk with women in the journey of their lives as they find their voice and find their way. And we're so appreciative of the Philanthropy Connection for you reviewing all of our materials and interest to support a development strategy associate position, which is a new position with RIA House. We're looking to bring on a person in that role to really help us sustain the organization and help us find the critical partnerships and people who can really understand and dig into developing the work that we do already. So thank you very, very much for reviewing all those materials and being with us in this journey. I also want to give you a little update around the COVID-19 public health crisis. RIA House has a robust service offering. We continue to support people one-on-one through video conferencing and through the telephone, and as well through FaceTime, actually, which has been really fabulous. We also drop off supplies, groceries, or other sorts of items as people have needed them. We meet with folks on a per case basis, practicing safety protocols such as wearing masks and glasses, gloves, maintaining social distancing, and very much showing up, we continue to show up time and again. Again, it's great to be here this evening. We look forward to just continuing to do this profound work day and again Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bonnie Berdelay, the Executive Director of Science Club for Girls. Our mission is to foster confidence, excitement, and literacy in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in girls, particularly girls from underrepresented communities. We do this by providing free experiential programs and by maximizing meaningful interactions with women STEM mentors. Science Club for Girls targets girls who are underrepresented in STEM by race and by socioeconomic factors. Our programming exposes girls to STEM subjects, engages them in hands-on curriculum, and allows them to gain STEM skills, become leaders, and envision a future for themselves in STEM higher ed and careers. At the beginning of March, we were serving over 250 girls in grades K through 12 in Cambridge, Somerville, and Boston with 60 mentors. By mid-March, measures were enacted to mitigate the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so we transitioned our programs to an online and virtual format. We are offering 5 modes of programming to best accommodate the varying capacities of our families who come from communities that are often the hardest hit by the pandemic. We are now offering our virtual science clubs for our younger girls and are offering closed mentoring Zoom sessions for our middle school girls and high school girls. We are also doing live science shows each week and are broadcasting to our 3 partner cities, as well as Lowell and Lawrence, to gain an even wider audience. We are using the same guiding principles of equity of access, hands-on activities, and mentoring in our virtual programming as we do in our in-person programming. Relationships define Science Club for Girls, and we've found that our relationships transcend the barriers of the quarantine. Social emotional support is also at the heart of our organization and is ever present in our current programming. Stories from our community provide the best and most compelling evidence of our impact, and I would like to share some stories from a mother of one of our participants who's currently in 3rd grade and has been with us for the past 4 years. She writes, "I want to thank you for keeping your programs running virtually. My daughter often struggles with school subjects except for science. She also struggles a great deal with her confidence level, and the mentors at Science Club for Girls have really helped with this. During this difficult time, the only thing she looks forward to is Science Club. She often mentions her mentors and really looks up to them. Thank you for keeping this program going." I'd also like to thank you for your support to keep our outreach and development work going, to continue our virtual programming and allow us to expand our middle school programming going forward. We are grateful to the Philanthropy Connection for allowing us to continue to provide free STEM programming and mentoring, and to allow us to do this for even greater number of girls in underrepresented communities in Greater Boston with this 2020 grant. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Owens, and I'm proud to be the Executive Director of City Life Vida Urbana, a housing justice organization that serves families in the Greater Boston area. Our mission is to fight for racial, social, economic justice, and gender equality by building working class power. We do this by working with families in communities of color and in immigrant communities who are fighting displacement due to unjust eviction and dramatic rent hikes, using our sword and our shield method. The sword is community organizing. This is when we're telling our stories, we're learning our legal rights, and we're standing up with our neighbors who are fighting displacement in housing court. The shield represents our creative legal partnerships with Greater Boston Legal Services, Harvard Legal Aid Bureau, and the Harvard Legal Services Center. Using our sword and shield method, last year we were able to help 800 families stay in their homes. The COVID-19 crisis has been impacting our communities particularly hard. It's not a surprise that the same communities that had the majority of eviction filings pre-COVID-19 are the same communities where essential workers live and where you can find the highest COVID-19 infection rates now. And in anticipation of increased demand from our communities, City Life set up an emergency hotline in English and in Spanish at the beginning of the state of emergency. And in just 9 weeks, we've received 1,000 calls, mostly from families who are unable to pay their rent and are terrified of eviction. So this grant from the Philanthropy Connection has come at just the right time. With this grant, we've been able to hire a new staff person who comes from our membership base in East Boston. Our new staff person has hit the ground running by answering hotline calls, counseling families, and connecting them to basic needs. And our staff person is already an expert at this. She is also a tenant leader who worked with City Life to temporarily save her building from a building-wide eviction just before the COVID-19 crisis. The families in her building are now protected by the statewide eviction and foreclosure moratorium that we were able to help get passed recently. But as soon as the state of emergency is lifted, she and the rest of the families in her building will have to continue to fight to stay in their homes. Luckily, City Life will be right there beside them. And as we say at the end of every meeting, when we fight, we win. So on behalf of City Life, I want to thank the Philanthropy Connection once again for this much needed award. We are so honored that you've chosen to fight with us. Thank you so much.
Wow, those were quite stories. And welcome to all of our new grantees. We are really looking forward to getting to know you over the next year. And I really hope that at some point we can meet you in person. Thank you to everyone who joined this evening. To our guests, we hope you will join TPC and help us to award even more grants than ever next year. And to our members, thank you for all that you do, your support, your donations, your volunteer time, and to help make this the fun, diverse, dynamic group of women that we are. If you can, please join or renew by June 15th to help us make our match challenge. And this will be recorded, so please share it widely with your friends. Feel free to email us with comments or questions at connect@thephilanthropyconnection.org. And on that note, we will leave you once again with the slideshow in case you missed it from the beginning. And I hope you have a very good evening and stay well, everyone. Thank you.